Hi everyone, today we have a 20-minute stretch and flow class. So if you're feeling a little bit sore or if you're trying to get a little bit more energy into your body, this is the perfect workout. So we're gonna get started on our mat with our legs just a little bit wider than our hips. Ground through your feet, press through your big toe, your second toe, your heel, and lift the arches of your feet. Reach your arms up and overhead, nice big inhale. Find that nice length and stretch through your back. Exhale to release back down, taking your arms down by your sides. Tuck your chin, you're gonna roll it down. So you can walk your hands down your thighs or you can peel it down one vertebrae at a time until you reach your hands towards the mat. If your hamstrings, so if the back of your legs are super tight, you can bend your knees. Otherwise, try to keep your legs straight, lengthen them nice and long. And you can turn your head from side to side to release any tension and give yourself time to just turn your head from one side to the other. And use your breath to help you. Bend your knees and then slowly roll it on up. Think one vertebrae at a time. Reaching your arms up and overhead, nice big inhale. Take your legs out even wider now. So you have this wider stance. Press your shoulders down away from your ears. Look up and then reach your arms up and back so you get that length and extension through your spine. Come back to center, release your arms, and again, roll it down, or you can bend your knees and walk your hands down your thighs. It's up to you. So that way you're getting a release through that back chain, through your low back here. As you reach your hands towards the mat, bend your knees and then lengthen, extend your legs so you get that active stretch through the back of your thighs. Again, bend and extend. One more, bend, extend to lengthen. Lift your hips up higher. Try to fold your body in half just a little bit more to hold it here. Nice big inhale and exhale. One more. Walk your hands over to your leg. So now you're taking your chest over your thigh. You'll feel a deeper sensation, a deeper stretch through the back of your thigh here. And just breathe on into it. Take your hands back to center. Same thing now, but on the other side. Reach your hands over to your other leg so your chest is over your thigh. Relax your head, relax your neck. You can walk your hands back to center, bend those knees, roll it on up, or you can walk your hands up your thighs in more of a neutral spine to come up to a standing position. So now take your legs underneath your hips here. Arms reach down by your side, side bending. Finding that length through your waistline. And then come back up. So this is a nice stretch through your low back. As you reach the other side, try not to go into the movement really hard. You want to think about lengthening, feeling that stretch through your low back here. And lift all the way back up. Again, other side, reach. And lift. Again, reaching to the side. And come all the way back up. Reach your arms up and overhead again. Nice big inhale. And then exhale to release back down. Let's turn to the side of our mat. So legs are underneath your hips. Bend your knees. And you're gonna reach into a mini squat position, or you can go a little bit deeper. So bending from those hips, hinging from the hips, bending from the knees, and then come all the way back up. Again, bend and lengthen. So you're working through your thigh muscles, warming up those muscles a little bit more as you take it down and then back up. Nice big inhale and exhale. Be careful that you're not favoring one leg more than the other. You want to put equal weight between both of your legs here. 8 more. 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, 2. On this last one, come all the way up to a stand. Reach your arms up and overhead, lift up and back, and then release your arms, and then either tuck your chin to roll it down or walk your hands down your thighs in that neutral spinal position. Reaching your hands down towards the mat. Keep lifting your hips up nice and high. So now you're getting that stretch through that whole back chain here. Walk your hands out to downward dog. So getting that nice stretch and release through your calves and through your hamstrings and glutes. You can always walk your hands back so that way your heels can reach the mat just a little bit more, or you can bend your knees, or you can walk your hands forward. It's up to you. And just hold it here. Using your breath. Think of this as an active engagement. You're holding the movement, but you're gently releasing through your muscles here as you find that power through your shoulders. And you keep the engagement of your tummy muscles. So think belly bend to spine, so you feel that little up and lift through your abdominals without it being a strain. Keep breathing here. One more breath. And then you can lower down onto your knees. So going into cat-cow, rounding through your spine, and then lengthening to open up your chest and to go into a little bit more extension. So feel free to play around with this movement. You don't have to be married into a ton of flexion or a lot of extension here. You can change it up. As you move, you really want to focus about your body and where you are today versus where you think you should be or holding yourself back. So again, you're rounding through your spine and then lengthening to open up that chest, finding that extension. One more time through each direction, rounding through your back, feeling that connection of your rib cage coming in and together. And then lengthen and open up that chest. Come back into that neutral spine. So pressing away from the mat. Extend your right arm and your left leg into bird dog and hold it there. And then lower back down. Switch it out. Same thing, but on the other side. Give yourself a pause to hold it here. Find that connection through your glute and your hip here. And then lower back down. So now you're going to reach and alternate right and left. Finding that connection and stability through your trunk. As you switch, you want to focus on pressing through that opposite arm and leg, so that way you're not shifting your hips too much, and you're finding that stability. And press 4 more. This is 4, 3, 2, last one here, and lower back down. Separate your knees, sit back on your heels into child's pose. So you just get that release through your spine. You can rest your forehead on the mat, and you can kind of wiggle your hips just a little bit. One more breath, and come all the way back up. Let's find our plank. So we're gonna lower down onto our forearms. You can walk your knees back and send your hips forward, so you're doing a half plank. The biggest challenge I see when people do a half plank is they lift their hips up and think they're helping themselves. Really, it's all about that core and pelvic stability. So you wanna make sure that your hips are in line with the rest of your body, so that way you're challenging your abdominals, you're challenging also your back muscles here too. You can also go into a full forearm plank by tucking your toes under. So find your forearm plank, Press your feet or press your knees into the mat. Engage your glutes, engage your tummy muscles. Find the strength through your shoulders. Kind of think about pressing away from the mat. Create some space between the shoulder joint. That way you take pressure off of it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down onto your knees. Send your hips back, so you're going into child's pose, but reach your arms over to the side, getting that side stretch through your back and through your side body here. One more breath. And then you can switch and do the other side, reaching over. And then come back to center. Find your forearm plank again, whether it's a half plank or the full plank. I'm going to show you the next movement in your forearm plank. So if you're in a half plank position, what I'd like for you to do is send your hips up and back and then send them forward. So you can really practice about that concept that we just talked about making sure your hips are in line with the rest of your body. And this gives you a moment to kind of rest in between, so that way you're not putting a lot of stress on that low back. If you're in that full forearm plank, bend one knee and then switch, so you're alternating, focusing on that hip stability. So everyone find your forearm plank, whether it's extended or on your knees, and you're gonna lift your hips or bend your knees. Here we go. So just alternating or lifting the hips up and down. Finding that length through your spine, pressing through your heels to get that stretch, or making sure you're finding the length as you lift your hips up and down and press. You have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend both of your legs nice and long, and then lower your heels down or lower your knees down and reach back to take pressure off of your shoulders into that child's pose position. And one more breath. And then roll it on up. So sweep your legs in front of you. Take your heels out to the corner edges of your mat. Flex your feet. Reach your arms up and overhead. Reach them forward. Plug those shoulders into your back. Curl your pelvis under, roll it down halfway, and then lift it all the way back up. You can also bend your knees. So this is an option to bend your knees here, doing a little half roll down with a wider stance through your legs. If you also want to keep your legs underneath your hips, you can always do that. It's up to you. Otherwise, you can lengthen through your legs, roll it down a little bit, using your tummy muscles, and lift back up. 2 more. Curling that pelvis and lift. Last one, roll and lift. Reach your arms overhead and then reach forward, getting that nice stretch through your hamstrings here. Walk your hands over to one leg so that way you get a deeper stretch. Be careful you're not lifting your hip. Keep your hips heavy on the mat. Try to flex your feet as you reach forward. You can hold on to the mat. You can press down gently on your thigh. Just be careful that you're not pushing on your knee. One more breath here. And then you can walk your hands over to the other side, keeping your foot flexed, getting that nice stretch in. And then just do a little weight check. Make sure that your weight is even through your hips as you reach it forward. One more breath here. And then lift all the way up. Bring your legs So they're in front of you and in line with your hips. Bend your knees a little bit, reach it forward, and you're gonna roll it down. Think one vertebrae at a time. Reach the arms up and back, and then lower your arms down by your sides, keeping your chest open. Bend your knees. Place your feet firmly on the mat, and we're going into bridging next. So lifting your hips up and then back down. Lift and lower. So you're getting the stretch through your thighs as you lift your hips on up. Feeling the stretch through the front, engaging through your glutes as you lift on up. And lower. Again, reach and press. 4 more. This is 4, 3, 2, last one, and release back down. Extend one leg up towards the ceiling. You can flex your foot, you can point it, or you can do something halfway in between where your foot's relaxed. The opposite leg can be bent, or you can extend it fully, so it's up to you. Finding the length through the back of your leg. We're just gonna stretch out our hamstrings here. If you want a deeper stretch through your calf, try to flex your foot just a little bit more, bringing those toes back towards your face. You can also try to bring your leg in a little bit closer. Just be careful that you're not bouncing through a stretch like this. That's gonna create too many tears in your muscle. So make sure that your leg is just lengthened nice and long and that you're just bringing it back towards your face here. Nice big inhale and exhale to breathe it out. Extend your bottom leg. Take your leg and lift up and over, so you're flexing through your foot, getting that deeper stretch through your hip. Now take your leg back to center, open up your leg out to the side a little bit so you're getting a stretch through your inner thigh. Be careful that you're not just dropping the leg and letting the opposite hip lift. You want to think about taking it more to a diagonal line, keeping your shoulders, keeping your back on the mat. And then you can bring your leg back to center and release to lower it back down. So same thing now, but on the other side. Readjust your hips if you need to. Extending your leg up towards the ceiling. You can either keep your base leg bent or you can keep it straight. The more you flex your foot, the deeper the stretch you're gonna feel through the back of your leg, especially into your calf. Bringing your leg back towards your face a little bit more if you can. Finding the length through your hamstring, so back of your thigh. Now take your leg up and over, so you're lifting through your glute and you're getting that deeper stretch towards your hip. And think of it as just your leg is growing even longer through this stretch. You may feel this down the side. You may feel this in your calf a little bit more. Everyone's a little bit different when it comes to how they feel this stretch. One more breath here. Open your leg out to the side. So now you're going a little bit towards your shoulder. So at that diagonal line. Press your base leg down. You can also keep it bent. It's up to you. So now you're feeling that inner thigh stretch. keeping your back on the mat. And now take your leg back up towards the ceiling, finding the length through the back of your leg, and then lower it all the way back down. Now you can hug your knees into your chest. You can either do rolling like a ball to sit on up, or you can roll to your side to sit up. It's up to you. If you're doing rolling like a ball, make sure you bring your forehead to your knees. Use your tummy muscles to help round and lift all the way back up. So taking your legs into center, extend your leg, fold your opposite leg, and you can always play around with this based on what feels good on your hips. You may want to bring it really forward, or you can do a little bit more of a V position. Reach up and over to get that side body stretch, as well as your inner thigh. And lift on up. Now take your opposite arm, reach it through so you get that stretch. And now you're turning your hip a little bit. Come back to center again. So now you're rotating your hip down, reach up and over, and lift all the way back up. Same thing now, but on the other side. So just folding your leg in, extending your opposite leg, reach up and over, and then lift, turning the hip, get that stretch through the front of your hip as you reach through. And then again, reaching up and over, keeping your hips heavy. And lift all the way back up. Bring the soles of your feet together. So make a little diamond shape. Sitting up nice and tall. Lift out of your hips. So you want to find the length through your waistline. Reach up and then forward so you get a stretch through your hips and through your glutes. If you're feeling a stretch just by leaning forward a couple inches, that's fine. Just hold it here. Be careful you're not pushing down on your knees. If anything, if you want a deeper stretch through your hips, just gently take your hands towards the center and then glide them back and away. That way you're putting a little bit of more pressure through the muscles versus your joints. Another option is just to walk your hands forward. And then when you get to a place where you feel comfortable, and at the same time you're finding a little bit of a deeper stretch, you're just going to hold it here. Keep breathing into this movement. One more breath. And then you can walk your hands back in, reach your arms up and overhead, nice big inhale. Exhale to release, bring your knees together, going into a forward fold. So shifting your weight forward, lift your hips, reaching down towards the mat with your hands. Your legs should feel a little bit different from when you first started. So you should feel a little bit more open, find a little bit more of a deeper release. Maybe you can fold your body in half just a little bit more. Keep lifting up the hips. Fold your body in half a little bit more, or try to straighten out your legs just maybe an inch or two. Bend your knees and then roll it on up, or you can walk your hands up your thighs in that neutral spine. Reaching your arms up and overhead, and then exhale to release. Nice work. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.